Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Scarred Thumb Podcast. Today, we'll be talking about whitewashing. This sort of idea that there has to be, honestly, this idea that there has to be representation from for everybody. Even, if you're a Chinese company that mostly markets to Chinese and Japanese, well, not even markets, the majority of your revenue comes from Chinese and Japanese people, that you still need to have representation for colored people as well. Because China and Japan, historically known for their large colored population of, black people or African population. As we'll go into, I was actually looking it up. I don't have the info for it, but I believe it's less than 1% for black people in Japan and China. Combined, I don't know, but maybe it gets to 1%. But actually, I don't think so. That's not how percentages work. So that is what's going on here. And there was another. Let's see. So let me go to this. Article here. Oh well, they delete another one deleted. So we talked about this. I really need to screenshot these tweets because people will make these dumb tweets and then just delete them. Hey, Deborah, how's it going? Good to see you. So we talked about the whole boycott Hoyoverse stuff last week. It was actually one of the few. It's just started up probably Saturday, maybe Sunday, but it took off over the recent week because, of course, when you have some sort of ideological bent to this and it's destructive to the success of the game, of course, you have to have the media push it. And, of course, voice actors, too, because that's always another source of just constant ideological battleground here, pushing for it. This is from IGN. Genshin Impact voice actors join in criticism of upcoming Natlan region. Character designs, if you're unfamiliar, Natlan is sort of the African region of Genshin Impact. It's supposed to be, inspired by that area. It's more like a desert, savanna type of thing. I mean, you can kind of go into this. Let's see if I can scrub in this. Please. So, it's got colorful characters. They're playing some sort of ball game. I got pots. So I don't know what is this region supposed to be. Kind of like Egypt-ish. But, it's kind of inspired by it. You kind of get the vibe of that kind of area. Because that's a lot of times in fictional worlds, you take, parts of it that are interesting and then, kind of make them your own. This is obviously a fictional world. Let me turn this volume down. You have this random girl with I think that's the Archon, which are the gods of the region. Kind of looks like Chandra. And then they sort of have the kind of have these I don't even know what type of music it is, but kind of has that flair. So, kind of, like I said, inspired by that area. So people are saying, you gotta have black characters in it. Obviously. So some of the fans started this boycott. And, of course, some voice actors need to get in and say their statements. Let's see. We got this guy's play Albedo. If a game draws heavily from real-world cultures based on characters on the supreme deity of Yorba region, that character ends up looking like a pale-skinned Sasuke Batman. People are absolutely within the right to demand better representation, especially when said game has a clearly stated commitment to a global audience. I hope you all are making your voices heard, and I hope they listen. So these people have to. Super white representation only in guys. Twitter does zero chill for these guys. I like the fact that Twitter is a place where we can now just go crazy with any sort of ideological arguments. When they say global audience, I'll refer to this chart several times. They mean the regions in green. Notice this Africa, how the per capita, GDP per capita, is all in like red, orange, yellowish. When it gets into, they don't really care about that region. Like the Yoruba, what they're talking about, that thing that says 2K right there, that's the Nigeria. That's where like a lot of the Yoruba, or if I'm pronouncing it right, region is. And it's not, it doesn't look like it's doing too well. Maybe they got bigger problems than a representation in gacha games. But this is what, English VAs, which what I always never watch dubs. That's the justification, post hoc justification I'm going to use for never watching dubs. I think subs are better, in my opinion, since it fits the original animation. But these voice actors, English voice actors, just constantly, anytime somebody comes up with this crappy reasoning, it's always English voice actors that need to help toe the line, because most of them are in California. A lot of them are super, left-wing left-leaning, sort of ideologically based. And that whole voice acting, there's always these cliques and cartels especially in these sort of creative fields. So if you're going to be, clearly right-leaning, you're going to get blacklisted. And if you kind of toe the line, DEI, all that sort of left-leaning garbage, potentially opportunities could come your way. Of course, it's not always the case. Sometimes, Kao Dao or whatever could end up finding himself shoehorned, which would be funny if Asian voice actors, like that other guy, that fat voice actor, I forget what his name is, Doctor or whatever, got, shoehorned, is now finding himself like shoehorned into only Asian roles. We're like, oh, wait, colored, black person should only be played by a black person. And then it'll be, oh, wait a sec, like, hey, I'm Asian, can I apply for this white role? Like, no, it should be played by a white person. Whoa, wait a second. It's only supposed to benefit me. It's not supposed to work the other way around. Well, let's move on and see. And I love this response to Valerie Rodriguez here. If you're gonna use real world deities, respect them. If you're based off real cultures, respect that. I'm fine with these things being inspired by various cultures. That's awesome. Representation is dope, but bare minimum, do some research and show some cultural appreciation. And then she's talking about Urun, which I guess is this guy. Hey, how's it going, JBB? Good to see you. This is like, oh, his reputation in Smite was great, and then they gave this guy a name. I don't think he's supposed to be Orun, since he has like some like weird 8-bit magic. Then I love this, like, guys, I got receipts. I read this book, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm mean mugging the camera with a book. Look, Congo, epic history of a people. I know all about Africa. Now I've read a book. I love this book. I read, guys. I read. I also like this response about, wait, it was Urun. Let's see, I think it was this guy. Let's check out, click on this. So you're talking about how, this is good. This Smite representation is cool, and they made a cool, powerful black dude as Urun instead of a white guy. And then right below it, well, I agree, I would never use Smite as an example. They have repeatedly made skins that mock or whitewash deities from cultures all over the world. Like, that's fair. I wasn't aware of that. I just want to include the screenshots. Like, Even this, like, they're like, whoa, 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 you can't use that example. Don't use that game as an example because they're bad too. This is always the case. Always the case. They're never happy. Like he couldn't just say, like, yeah, that is a cool representation of that guy. I like it. They're like, no, no, that game's bad too because they did this one thing that's super bad. These people are constantly unhappy about anything. And like, I brought this up because this is what is it? Serena Williams. Sorry, one of the Williams. Caitlin Clark. She's a white person that's good at basketball. Best thing to ever happen to basketball in terms of interest. And then here
Clark
she is.
Had an amazing year and is nominated for 3 awards. Caitlin, you are the Larry Bird in that you are an amazing player. You have ties to Indiana, and white people are really crazy about you.
White people are really crazy about you. Caitlin, yeah, man, can't believe it. Why do those white people like you so much? Are they racist? I guess that's what to really imply. That's the real joke, which is, I guess, I mean, it's a woman telling a joke, so it's not gonna be super funny. But that's really like, white people really like you, Caitlin. I wish, and like this, they're so jealous of the attention she gets for it. They just can't stand it, even though like attention for Caitlin Clark makes everybody, the WNBA, better. I mean, better than it is. I don't think it's getting a lot of attention, but it's so good for everyone in the sport. But why white people like you so much, Caitlin? I mean, then like there was another joke. I couldn't find a good clip of it. Like even this is kind of bad quality. We're like, oh, you can like Angel Reese too, which is like a black player. They're never happy about it. And this is the last. And this Allegra Clark, I'm disappointed parts of the world are so seldomly reflected in media. Could be portrayed accurately. I know it's inspired by it, as opposed to one-to-one depiction. If you're drawing in Pacific sources, it would be lovely to see what should be done. This is, and it's also like so disingenuous. Hey, Jack, how's it going? Whitey, am I right? Oh, those white people. Why are they so bad? Why are they always doing stuff, crazy stuff like that? This was I thought a funny tweet. Let me copy link. I forgot to bring it up. So, you guys remember Hades, right? I mean, white people have their own mythologies and stuff that weirdly not respected. Hey, I don't remember IGN writing any articles when Hades did this to Hestia. Whoa, why is this lady so dark? It was like Greek, right? Greek or Roman? I don't recall them being dark skinned. I'm not. I think Hestia is Greek mythology, but I mean, we use Thor, we use Fenris, so much. Yep, Greek goddess of hearth and home. Weird. That's weird. They made her black. That's kind of disrespectful, right? Oh wait, it doesn't work that way. It only works one way, by the way. We're okay with that. It looks great. They'll like jizzing themselves. IGN will be jizzing themselves over the fact that like some other guy in a wheelchair got in a wheelchair, which apparently was disabled, or dark skin person in Hades. We're getting great representation. Just means more black people. It doesn't mean representation of a culture. It just means more colored people, less white, or really maybe less white people. That's probably a better way to put it, because that seems to be more of the impetus in it. Like we do not want to see so many white people in our media. We got to have some other folks, because really it's not like they want to support black people. And this is kind of one thing that I'm going to get to. But let's just I just want to show how this thing. So this is boycott Hoyoverse, do review bomb, like and retweet our like. Hey, this is always the underlying thing. Like, why don't you help promote me? Share posts from us. Share posts from BIPOC, people of color. Spread the word. Tell a friend. Encourage others to speak up. Respond to surveys. Send customer complaints. Sign link petitions. Post in the official accounts. Mute block trolls. So just harass Hoyoverse. Don't make any additional purchases. Participate in giveaways. Participate in Hoyoverse economical flow. Don't buy, so you can still play the game, by the way. Nobody's boycotting the game. Harass, incest, threaten voice actors, content creators, send threats to customer support, interact with racists, speak over people who are indigenous / affected. We don't want your input, white people. Don't talk over us. So this is the ridiculous boycott that isn't working. It's probably had the opposite effect of making Natland even more popular, even more well-known. And this is one thing I wanted to get to. So this is 3 years old, but probably still kind of functions as the same thing. This is Genshin Global downloads by region. We can see the diversity here. Others 46%. Indonesia at 6%. Let's look at that. Japan only at 6% of the downloads. And then we look on the right here. All of a sudden, China is 40%. Japan is 27% of the revenue by region. USA 13%. Korea, Indonesia just vanishes. Germany's 2%. They weren't even on this little sort of population wheel. They just got absorbed into others. And then other is 11%, which, I'm sure any African country is nowhere near in this region. So, as far as what matters as far as revenue. Oh yeah, you can't even see the China graphic. I don't know if I could make that. Is this more legible? Maybe not. But anyway, you can still see the idea is that this is not. This was kind of broken down from the source. Hey, how's it going, Nuke? Good. I'm doing well, Jack. Doing well. But this is what really matters. The figure on the right is the money. That's how they continue to make content, keep the lights on. And the USA, which is where a lot of this complaints are coming from, I assume the majority of the complaints because actual African regions don't have any money or, the infrastructure to complain. Or really, I'm sure they just have bigger problems, like running water and that kind of stuff to worry about. This makes up such a small percentage. And then I guarantee you China doesn't care, and Japan probably doesn't either. It's just this a fraction of the USA revenue. And maybe not even that, because this is let's take a look at this game. Flintlock.
Rated.
Our world is in chaos. The gods and their armies of the dead seek to rule over everything we call home.
Oh, looks pretty crazy.
I'll be damned if I let that happen.
Oh.
My name is Nor.
Oh, there we go. Whoa, strong black female lead.
Vanek. Survivor.
She's got the dreads. She got everything. Humanity. She's tough. She's got magic. To know God. Oh. The Siege of Dawn. It's supposed to be a Souls-like game, kind of like a lot of people complain it compared to Dark Souls. So this game instantly came out to a $10 or a 10% discount on Steam. Full game, by the way, not early access. Full game comes out on discount, 10% discount. And then this is the This is the Steam chart here. All-time peak, 24-hour peak is 530. All-time peak is 530 players. When your brand new game comes out to 530 players, it's not looking good. This, of course, were involved with Sweet Baby Inc. as well, which, I don't know if I'm always kind of hesitant, I'd say, to say like, oh yeah, Sweet Baby Incorporated is why they feel like. So it's a $40 game that came out to $36, but when your protagonist is a female lead, totally unattractive. Like they went out of their way to make her unattractive. They gave her like the ugliest, like blackest haircut. Like, and I hate to say it, but like dreads, maybe for like a very small part of the population, these sort of like dreads are attractive with the V tattoo and everything. And so like no sex appeal whatsoever. You have a female lead, no femininity, no sex appeal at all. Like who's going to be attracted to this? And of course, all these people complain about representation. Here you go, black female lead, boom, right front and center. They gave her the blackest haircut they could with the dreads, yet 10% off, 530 people playing. This is what you get right here. This is what representation. You can see yourself in the game. I guess only 530 people, and probably not even that could figured that was worth $36 to see themselves in the game. Of course, we remember Tales of Consirio Zao, which got a ton of positive press, promotion at the Video Game Awards. All-time peak 287. 8 players playing right now. 16 players total peak. It's got, and then there's like 77. I think their reviews are like positive. This one doesn't really show the reviews. I think it's around like 70. Actually, wait, I have it up here. It's mostly positive reviews. So it's like, it's a competent, semi-competently done game, I assume. Gets, decent reviews, but it just doesn't capture people. People don't want to play it. Why aren't these games doing so well? You got the representations out, like all African cast, African singers, all doing their thing. But no, we got to get Hoyoverse to put in black characters because they do so great. They do so great right now. Zao. Why are people playing Zao, guys? So this is what you get when you get representation. Of course, like I said, the GDP map doesn't lie. Why not just and this is, let me say, there was something I was showing Jack the other day. Let me see. Flintlock. I've got a theory. Flintlock development. How long has it been? Oh, dang it. The fact that Flintlock Siege of Dawn is not at the top of the SEO. Like, Flintlock development's like 1600s. What? Siege of Dawn. Late 1500s, I guess, is when the Flintlock first started. So it was announced on 2022. Okay. With a cinematic trailer. I wonder how... I feel like a lot of these... Like, I was looking the other day, like when Assassin's Creed Shadows started development, and it started right at 2020. If we look at here, 2020, and I have a feeling that this Flintlock Siege of Dawn had, I don't know when it started development. It can't be 2022 it was announced with that, but maybe they don't have the let me see. Begin development. Let me see if I can beginning date. So if it was started around 2020 or so, we're kind of seeing, because we're in 2024 right now. we had the big Black Lives Matter riots in 2020. Of course, we had all this sort of, a lot of it was gassed up as far as like the election to get Donald Trump out, because every time there's an election, you got to gas up the racial turmoil. The media does a great job of that. Sparkling Zero to come out. Ooh. And so you have this, and games tend to take 4 to 5 years. So you start development 2020, Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, all this stuff's going on. You gotta get the black character in here. We gotta have representation. We need to help black people. Of course, it takes a long time to develop games. So by the time 2024, 2025, people are sick of Black Lives Matter. Honestly, I think you can be more openly racist now than ever in recent years, because people are just so sick of seeing this stuff. Like Kirio, you've got your character. Like, why is this game flopping? You have Forspoken, you have all this representation. It's not doing well, and then you got you got Serena Williams. White people white people really don't like these games. White people love you, Caitlin Clark. Oh wow, we like seeing white people. That's crazy. Oh, why do white people like you so much? Why don't they like us? Oh, I'm just gonna make a joke about them though, constantly. And so much black. A lot of this stuff is anti-white. I don't know why they don't like us. It's crazy. But this is we might be seeing the sort of last remnants of these things, like that. The height of the Black Lives Matter hysteria is coming to an end. Like right now, any game that started development during that time, it was a huge boon for Sweet Baby and any sort of diversity consultants, right when that racial animus was really at its height. But now it's fallen off a cliff. People are just sick of it. I guess, elevated crime rates, and just being beat on so much with it. It's run its course, and now people are just sick of it. And these games are going to continue to do pretty poorly. So I think Genshin's on the right track. Just ignore it. Though the thing is, I don't think people would dislike darker skinned characters, just not the sort of darker skinned characters like they want to represent. There was another tweet that was more like an anime type of thing, but this is making fun of whitewashing. This is the other thing I can't stand. I see them on Twitter all the time, but they'll take characters that are darker skinned and demand that they look they'll add dreads and giant lips to them. Oh, we got to make them blacker. And then she just deleted the post because people a lot of people don't like it, because they'll usually harass a bunch of artists that make the character slightly lighter due to color theory or really anything, any sort of reason to. I mean, if you're an artist, you play with color. It's called creativity. But they slavishly demand you have to have the absolute right. If you don't have a dark enough skin color on your black, that they claim as black characters, then you don't. You've done something wrong. You're a racist, and they'll usually harass artists, especially the Japanese artists. And a lot of those guys, they're just people, and they tend to be a bit gentler. But they're complaining about this. I forget what the bunny's character's name is. Oh, why are they whitewashing her? Without any sort of understanding that, that these are totally different mediums. You have a Choco here, or whatever her name is, Gravity Girl, Ocho, which is very pink shade of color. This was colored with markers. Meanwhile, you have, an animated medium where you have very simple shading, as opposed to very complex shading here on this character. You can't necessarily notice it because they actually do a really good job of having a solid gradient. But you never put this level of detail into an animation, especially with the coloring. It just takes too long. It's not it's too much. You have to save money. So this is something I brought. I mean, if you look at the white character, I mean, you see the difference in coloring here. Or her skin's practically pink because it's probably the color of marker he had on hand, as opposed to this, which is, she's extremely pale, very simple shading on her skin. It's just how the medium works. That they cannot get over it. That the medium might be there might be a reason besides racism to do this. We gotta have the darkest skin possible. But anyway, I'm gonna move on. Actually, I'm not done with whitewashing yet, but let's take a look at Overwatch here, because I think the rent might be due at Blizzard's headquarters.
Curious.
One small step at a time. I am prepared to cause trouble. Administering aid.
This is the new character Juno coming out.
Yes, I got one. We will kick up a dust storm. No maneuvering out of this. Supporting in TE.
This is why I say the rent's due over at Blizzard HQ, because I don't know what they nerfed Tracer's backside, but Juno, they seem to have no problem with it. Like, here we go.
Targeting. Hold on.
We've got the tight-fitting spacesuit. It's kind of cute,
Threat neutralized.
fluffy alien, space girl.
Hyper ring out. Locking satellite vector.
I got the orbital laser.
To orbit.
I'm not really interested in Overwatch, but seems like they decided, hey, instead of having some weird character, non-binary character, let's though they haven't announced her sexuality yet. We'll put out a cute alien support girl for Overwatch here.
Now that's more like
Another theory is that it might be something related to Concord. We'll go over that too. Like, that's just coming out. Maybe Blizzard's like, you know what? Concord's coming out here. Let's bring more attention to us. Our free game instead of the $40 game. Oh, the new DBZ game coming out. That's pretty cool. So let's go here. Let's look over here. But some people aren't happy about Juno. This is from Inverse by Robin Bay. After talking about Overwatch official unknown hero, the Space Ranger Blizzard revealed the true identity of the latest game, an adorable little astronaut named Juno. Then they talk about a little bit about Juno, and they're talking about her kit. By and large, it seems pretty pleased. Overwatch, by and large, they always got to add it. Like, look, pretty much everybody's really happy about Juno, but fans are already praising her kit. And there's a lot of excitement about her in-game model, her permanently snazzy blue and orange spacesuit. Oh, here we go. Second pair. However, got to start out with however. Not everyone is pleased with Juno. Some players argue that her skills are simply overpowered, since she combines ability to heal, buff, damage, and quickly evade danger. Power creep. Valid criticism, I suppose. Others are adding to the criticism that Overwatch has already faced plenty over the years of how it handles race in its character designs. Blizzard's made some strides toward having a diverse cast. It's never enough. It's never enough. Its heroes are still largely white. Oh no, there's too many white people in this game. And Blizzard has gotten plenty of critiques of how it handles the characters of color as well. While the reception of Juno on social media has been largely positive, of course, overwhelmingly positive, some, a vocal minority of unhappy people, have taken issue with how she's depicted in-game. Some players point to Juno's featuring, oh no, light skin. She's been whitewashed. Enormous eyes. She doesn't She's Asian. She don't have narrow eye. Why should not have a narrow eye and a round nose? That's just another example of whitewashing, baby. We got it. Something that critics in common for East Asia women in their Whitewash cast. That's not the fact that, it's kind of like Disney cartoony type of thing. That sort of aesthetic. It has nothing to do with the artistic aesthetic or anything like that. It's that fact that she doesn't have narrow eye. Like they had like Turning Red, that ugly Turning Red. I don't recall her having really narrow eyes in it. It's almost like there was a certain aesthetic you're keeping into it. But I guess you have to make the eyes more Asian. That's to fight racism. you have to make racial caricatures in order to fight racism now. That's how it works. Others say it's simply an example of Blizzard using its female characters too similarly in both facial features and body. Yeah, it's called an aesthetic, having some sort of consistency, and leaning towards sexualized designs, emphasizing in Juno's case her extremely tight spacesuit. Oh, it's almost like they're a free game and they need to attract people. Crazy. Despite the criticism, it's clear. Like, you know what? Despite this criticism, everyone likes it, and no one really gives a shit at the end of the day. So I'm like, let me just bring this up because I thought it was so funny. Like, what is Inverse? I'm not too familiar with it. I love their tagline. I have to share it with you. You got a black guy in the background. Inverse is the coolest place to get smarter. That's their tagline. It's the coolest place to get smarter, guys. You need to be smarter. You get smarter by reading great articles like this. It's the most Reddit tagline ever. Guys, this is the coolest place to learn how you should think about these issues. That's smart, right? By the way, smart media literacy. It's all about having the correct left-leaning views. But some people, this Juno thing. One thing it's not really good for is, of course, Concord. So Concord had its open beta recently. This is open beta. It's free, unlike Concord, which is $40. And it's all-time peak on Steam. It's also available on PlayStation 5. You have to have a PSN account. They're still pushing the PSN account thing in order to play a Steam game. You have to make an external account for PSN if you want to play it. All-time peak is 2,363 for their beta, open beta. Now, this is a live service game, so they're relying on both the money from the initial sale, and the ongoing skin sales to sort of keep it going as an online competitive game. This 363 is disastrous number. If it's anything to indicate, what the sales are on the PSN, it could be more, but I have a feeling that it's probably close to 50-50. On an online shooter, too, like a first-person shooter, I feel like it'd be even less. There's a possibility that I'm wrong, but it's not good. And even the video gamer, this is by Amar Crowdherty. Concord is dead on arrival, and disappointing open beta numbers prove it. So this guy just going straight for the throat, just saying it like it needs to be said. Open beta has launched, and it's already bombed. With just 1,100 people playing on Steam, it doesn't look great for the PlayStation's new live service hero shooter. By Steam charts, open beta peaked at 230 players last night. Directly looked like it's heading on the up, though I can't imagine it's going to break any devastating figures. So this was 15th through the 19th. This was through the 21st. So it was right here, and then it did not get better. It peaked at 230, and then it just stayed. So far, it's just stayed dead. and just gone down. I don't know if the open beta is closed down. That's why the numbers were so low. But it is not doing well. It is not doing well at all. And then it's a live service where PlayStation themselves are disinterested. So they came out with Juno. Could this, coincide with the open beta? I don't know. It seemed like, something they'd compete against. Overwatch, Blizzard's now owned by PlayStation, or Blizzard's owned by Microsoft. So there could be some competitive angle to it. This is their market. They don't want to lose it. They are like the top, along with like Valorant and stuff. So why lose it? But I think Concord's real problem is that, as I've shown time and time again, it has fat black women with pronouns in the bio. They tried to be like different as like their difference like in diversity. These diverse characters, or any white people in it at all, white men at all. You got the Asian guy, you got the green guy, you got big pink guy, you got a robot. All these people, they tried to make themselves the super diverse video game cast of characters, and this is what they got for it. This is where they stop whitewashing. This is where representation is getting them. As people kind of pointed out, like none of these characters look super interesting. And this is a genre that is super saturated, been done to death, and nothing about this game just really stands out. And it seems like the numbers are proving that a lot of people feel the same way. Concord does launch with its AAA. I can't imagine it could be more disappointing. So I wouldn't agree that it's a AAA. It's more like a AA price tag. $40 is a decent amount, but it's not, AAA would be like $70 to $60. The game is rough on PC. Maybe it's better on PlayStation, but this isn't good. Dungeon Board launched today entirely for free, and it's currently sitting at 300,000 players. Concord, again, it's like a game that you've seen that looks like a disaster, and it's just sort of shaping up to be a disaster. I'm glad it failed in a lot of ways. I mean, the string seems competently done. It has a ton of money behind it, and then they make characters that are just awful looking. Let's see, Concord as characters. Is there a way to? Let's see. They got the. So let me bring this up. And look at these. Here's the characters they decide. You've got a robot. This lady. What the fuck is this? Baz. Look at this shit. This looks hideous. This is a character that has not been whitewashed. She needs some whitewashing, or at least I understand they have to have unique silhouettes. That's an important part of 5v5 shooters. But holy shit! And then here we got the DeVeers, again hideous looking. I've already shown you Daw, which is supposedly some sort of trans femme. I don't know. Well, look at old lady, Duchess. We got old Asian lady. Wow. Of course, this has been shown off. The Amari, the fat black woman, has been shown off quite a lot. And their Amari, this is a slightly attractive woman, at least. Okay, weird looking purple haired lady. Wow. Black. They have the black cowboy. This thing. Lark. I like the hat a little bit, but still kind of weird. I like, at least this looks weird, but it's an alien, so kind of all right, it's weird looking, but I assume an alien would look weird. This is kind of normal. This is chameleon guy. He looks, he's got a smirk, not offensive. Roka, which androgynous. It would kind of be cool if they gave this character skinnier and a giant rack, It might be an attractive character design, but still no. Star Child, whatever, big like giant bruiser type of guy, cool. This is like the only like white guy that they made. They seem to make him like give him an effeminate pose and a really lame headgear. They could have made this guy cool, but they didn't. And of course, you gotta have another black woman. Gotta have the dreads. Gotta have the dreads. Can't be whitewashed. Very dark skin. And this is their cast of characters. One white dude. This is like the single white dude. Dio is every Modern Warfare player's dream. Your prototypical soldier, locked and loaded. They couldn't even make the soldier interesting. Tactical vision. Wow. Here's that's their cast, and this is what they get for it. Enjoy. Meanwhile, let me show you this. Shoot. I've already let me take a look at let's take a look at these characters. This game's probably like functionally probably a worse made game. But you've got let me see if I can find some a good look at these. You have like these characters. You have characters like these, which Bunny. This is First Descendant. I showed this not yesterday, a week ago. Where you have like giant horned armor dude. Got kind of like cute scientist girl. No, they've been whitewashed though. I always think the guys in these things look so generic. I think that's my one criticism. Like they're kind of cool looking, but I just feel like they're always something about Asian. I just can't. Asian people just don't do men well, in my opinion. This is just my opinion, but their features are always a little bit too effeminate. But I guess that's just the way Asian people like doing it. And they're kind of cute little like space girl, kind of like Juno. This is Valby. Oh, a giant girl with giant rack. This game is probably probably made worse, but at the same time has a million more people. Right? Steam charts for First Descendant is huge. Descendant. This is a game that actually makes some money, as opposed to lose money. So right now, this is like the numbers that really Concord needs to get. 140,000 playing. The all-time peak was 264. The 24-hour peak, 150,000 people playing this game right now. I tried it. I wasn't super impressed. I don't know if that genre is for me. I just haven't. Like the first hour of the game is awful. But of course, it's a tutorial. Every fucking game has to have a tutorial. Maybe I should make like a video about tutorials because I want to kill myself every time I start one of these new fucking free-to-play games. And the first hour is just like, hey, walk, jump. Here's a bunch of shitty storytelling. We got to set the world here, so here's a bunch of boring-ass storytelling with absolutely like you're retarded gameplay that treats you like a retard, like that has one hand, like oh no, dodge. Here's this giant. Whoa, it's this giant guy, this giant monster. He's attacking us. How will we live? And like, oh, it does 0 damage, and you could just circle strafe around it. Just shoot it. And the worst, it's like, wow, this is amazing. I love this game. Blech. But anyway. I'm getting off on a tangent, but this is character design. Let's see, where did I even Concord? I'm losing track of my tabs now. Where did I put the First Descended character designs at? So we got this. I don't know which would you rather have, this or oh, wait, let me get. I think Baz is the worst one of all. Well, you want this character or this character? I don't know, guys. Which would you prefer? Cute girl with giant tits or crazy sunglasses afro chick? I think I'll take the whitewashing. Thank you very much. And according to the numbers, I think other people I think people prefer that too. They're two totally different games, but this is just a recent example of like a game that's doing really well and a game that is not on the way to disaster. Is it the character designs? Is it just the people really like looter shooters? I don't know. Suicide Squad didn't do well, but like this, people look at this and like, am I going to pay $40 for this? Am I really going to enjoy it? Like maybe Baz is super interesting and super funny, but I don't know if I'm going to risk $40 to find that out. And people won't even like give their time to. It's for free, and people won't even give their time. But let's wrap things up here. I haven't actually been paying attention to chat. Grandis. Tatas, exactly. Grande. Oh, I see. That's what grandes means. Talking about breasts. Who doesn't like this? This is. I don't know if this will happen. This could be false hope, but we'll end on a positive note or semi-positive. Maybe a hopeful note. Maybe hopeful is the correct word for it. Hideo Kojima asked Capcom to let him make Okami 2 and Beautiful Joe 3. Creators have a duty to create sequels fans want to see. I still feel like I haven't fulfilled my duty. This is a director playing some of Capcom's finest action games. Left Platinum Games last year, but he's not retiring. So he moved to Platinum. Actually had a very successful run there. Made some really good games. Like Platinum Games have made some really good action games. But now that he's retired, a wide-ranging discussion on his career with fellow Japanese developer Akumi Nakamura, the man behind beloved classics like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, directly addresses Oldham Player with a request, let him back into the studio to make sequels to his 2 games. Of course, these were made from, I believe, Cloverleaf was the name of the studio, which made these sort of iconic games. I don't know if I'm right here. Was it Cloverleaf? Yeah, Japanese game development studio founded by Capcom. Made Beautiful Joe. I loved Beautiful Joe 1 and 2. I thought they were awesome games. The Okami I never actually played, but I heard it's well loved. So the story ended midway. They're talking about Okami, but nearly after 20 years, it seems Kojima still feels like he has unfinished business. Story ended midway, so leaving it as is, I feel bad. Kojima reflected. Creators, think I have a duty to create sequels fans wanted to see. Although I sound all high and mighty, it's been a while since I moved on from Okami. But still, I feel like I haven't fulfilled my duty. So Capcom, please, let's do it together. Nakamura added her own pleas as she'd worked with Kojima as an artist on Okami. Her first credited role in Capcom after joining, her first game role after joining Capcom at age 19. This isn't the first time the two have discussed making a sequel, even though they even recorded a video in 2019 declaring that Okami is going to be back. Though the confident declaration apparently wasn't enough to get Capcom on board, maybe it's time with Kojima freshly unemployed, there's a chance that it'll happen. Though Nakamura has her own studio, where she's heading up horror game Kimori. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. The conversation between the two is playful, but it does seem sincere. Kojima added that he also felt the same way about his comic book themed beat-em-up Beautiful Joe, which did get a sequel, but apparently left some things unresolved. While recent Capcom fan surveys saw plenty of people asking for Okami sequel, Kojima joked that Beautiful Joe didn't even get a mention. It's only because 8 people have played Beautiful Joe, he said. I liked Beautiful Joe. I think it did pretty well. The game also ended midway, so I need to finish it. The survey that Capcom did last time didn't have a Beautiful Joe as an option, so I sent a response saying, "I am Hideo Kojima. Let me make Beautiful Joe's sequel." He writes his comment. We'll move on. So Hideo Kojima saying, "Hey, let me make Okami 2 and Beautiful Joe 2, Beautiful Joe 3. I hope it happens. I love those games. They were awesome. The style. I mean, if you look at Beautiful Joe, the videos, the style of it. Let's see. Beautiful Joe. I thought was great. They really had that. This was kind of the start of the start of this kind of cell shading. Really like superhero themed. I love the style, like the character design. All of it was awesome. You had, let's see, where something like it Red Hot. The names and stuff of it were great. You had the slowdown. Just overall, just really cool looking game. Awesome, awesome parts of it.
Come on, I want to go too. Will this trail eventually lead to Sylvia? Will this?
Oh yeah, he's trying to save his girlfriend. Is there a boss battle in here? I was trying to find a boss. They just beat the crap out of these things too. I remember slowing down time and just, wheel kicking it constantly. Oh, that was fun.
That DNA in our possession will be.
You gotta have like the evil guy that's maybe not evil.
Tell me, what do they call you? Beautiful. Well, yeah, that works. I'm Joe. Beautiful Joe. Beautiful Joe. How fitting.
Oh man, I really hope they make a sequel to that game. It was awesome. All right, guys, that's it for the podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna be I'll be redirecting to Nuke's channel. That's where he's doing Post Zero. So head out over there and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not. Support it, and I'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye now.